All right, hello and welcome to episode 51 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I am your co-host, Juan Martinez, and to my left or to my right, I think I interrupted his attempt at the intro, Jacques Slade.
I was just gonna yell something random, and I decided at the last minute, like, that's probably not a good idea. Don't do that. And then that's when you would start, and I was like, I'm gonna just let him go. Just let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. Yeah. Let him cook.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate the respect that you give me, because sometimes I don't do that.
Wow. All right.
No. What I'm saying is, like, I feel like sometimes when you talk, I like jump in for no reason, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have jumped in there. Like, I feel bad. I shouldn't have done that. I apologize. So for all the times that I have interrupted you while you're talking, I sincerely apologize.
No, it's part of the flow of a podcast. As we get to know each other better in this podcast.
We've known each other for a decade.
I know, but I'm saying, like, the way that it's different on a podcast.
Oh,
like,
yeah, totally.
The way we communicate is different.
We've known each other for like over a decade. Wow.
Yeah, over a decade. Yeah, it's been over a long decade. Time.
Yes. The stories, the insanity, the stuff that we probably can't talk about on a podcast. That would be its own thing.
We shouldn't talk about on a podcast.
We really shouldn't talk about. No. We shouldn't talk about that. Anyways, let's talk about stuff we can actually discuss on a podcast. Yeah. So happy Mamba Day, belated Mamba Day.
Belated Mamba Day. Yeah. The artificial holiday that's been created by the Nike complex. That wants us to
the Nike corporate industrial complex. Yes,
the Nike corporate industrial complex.
In the grand tradition of Air Max Day, let's also make another holiday.
Yes, and it's working. It's working.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, 8/24. Well, technically, the late Kobe Bryant's birthday is August 23rd, 8/23. But then we have 8/24, which is a Mamba Day. But it's not the original Mamba Day, because the original Mamba Day was April something 13 or 16, whatever the day of his last NBA game was, the actual first Mamba Day. And sometimes Nike still celebrates that day.
That's the prototype.
Day. Yes. But sometimes Nike still Nike still celebrates that day sometimes, along with his birthday and along with Mamba Day, which is the most, if Kobe was still here, it would be the most Mamba thing ever to celebrate things, not twice, 3 times.
3 times.
3 times.
Hey, man, that's how Kobe does it.
Yeah, no, well deserved. Anyways, Jacques, you were in attendance for a special event on Mamba Day. Yesterday it was in LA Live, and all the stars were there, and you being the biggest star of them all.
No, that's just false. That's just false advertising. If you can regale us with tales of the event itself, because I only saw pictures. Cool. Yeah, it was cool. It's called the Mamba League Invitational. So basically, they have some of the best high schoolers in the country come out to play a couple of games, and the winner, the championship team, both the women and the men, they win Kobe's for a year. Which is a pretty cool perk. I can't imagine winning something like that in high school, like the team that I play with. If you guys win Kobe's for a year, so that's pretty sick. To be fair, it's held at LA Live, right outside of the Microsoft. What's it called? The Microsoft? Is it Microsoft Theater? It's not just Microsoft.
I think it's the Microsoft Theater. It used to be the Nokia.
Is it just Microsoft Theater?
I think it's
Microsoft okay. Maybe it is just Microsoft Theater. I thought it had some kind of other nickname on it. It's right in front of the Microsoft Theater at LA Live, right across the street from Staples, or technically Crypto, but right across the street from Staples. They put a basketball court there. They put out some stands, and lots of people from LA come out. They have a little store in there that they call Rings and Things, where this year it was like jewelry based, where they had like a lot of jewelry, like Kobe jewelry you could buy, which is a pretty cool look. I was debating on whether or not I love Kobe Bryant enough to buy Kobe jewelry. I wasn't sure my fandom would take me that far.
Like what kind of jewelry?
Although just like gold chains and pendants and stuff like that. They had some lace dubrays And I was on debating because there was a couple of things there, and I was like, "Oh, that looks pretty sick." But I was like, "Would I actually ever wear that anywhere?" I don't.
Outside of a gag,
like,
outside of a bit.
Outside of a bit. Like, I'm a Kobe fan for sure, like without question. But I don't know if I'm a big enough Kobe fan to wear Kobe jewelry.
Sure.
I don't know if that's because of my exposure to him as a journalist or influencer or sneaker guy or whatever that means, or if I just don't have that sort of allegiance to sports figures in that way.
Sure.
Like, I wear a Kobe t-shirt. I'd wear I wear Kobe's, obviously. I'd wear Kobe socks. I'd wear Kobe shorts. I even wear Kobe hoodies, but I don't know if I'd wear Kobe jewelry. For some reason, jewelry feels more personal to me, and so I draw the line there, oddly, which is very, very weird. Anyway, so yeah, it was they had a Rings and Things store where they had like the vault where they had a bunch of different Kobe's there. That, like, a lot of the Protros that were released, they had a couple of hidden things in there. They showed us the Christmas Kobe 3, which is coming. They showed us the Moonwalker Kobe, which everyone's super upset about because Nike's officially calling it Hyper Grape instead of Moonwalker this time. And people are like, "That's not the Hyper Grape, that's Moonwalker," which I get, but I figure if you know that much about that sneaker, you know enough about the sneaker world, how things often have to change their name. It can't be called by the intellectual property that inspired them. So it's like, are these comments honest, or are people just really that upset? I don't know. But then, and then, at the event, there were some people there. Matt Barnes came out. Derek Fisher was there. Monica was there. Her son is a high school player, so he was there playing, and so she came out. Jerry Lorenzo, oddly enough, was there. We were making a joke about it because he was in his own shoe, not like an Adidas shoe or a Nike shoe. He was in one of
like
his Fear of God moccasin style shoes, and we were like, well played, nicely done. We see what's happening here. A couple of players showed up. No one like super big time. Rob Pelinka was there, which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool to see Rob just like hanging out and chilling. But outside of that, it was, just a regular type of event. Just a regular basketball tournament with a bunch of kids. Nothing super crazy. Like, those kids make you realize how far you are from your heyday as a basketball player, but that's it. They make it look so easy.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, man, like, you did try to like hoop it up a little bit, right? Like, I think you posted a story of you guys actually hooping on the court.
Yeah, so we did
kids.
some warm up stuff and did a couple of drills and stuff like that in the Kobe 3, which was nice to get out there on the court and do some of that stuff. I haven't, like, because of golf, I haven't been as actively on the basketball side. And so it was nice to get back out there playing in that sort of capacity. It reminds me of like, oh man, how much I love playing basketball and how much I miss it. Golf has definitely like filled that spot, but it hasn't removed the love that I have for the sport of basketball, even though I'm playing golf now more than I play basketball.
I mean, it's hard to take that over. I mean, basketball is the old love. I mean, golf is always going to be like the new love, right? So, but you're always going to come back to hoops, right? Whether it's just like shooting free throws or just messing around, like you get that old feeling, right? It's like, there it is. This feels right. This feels natural. So you actually got to play in the Kobe 3 Protro.
The Kobe 3 Protro, yes.
Did you actually
have them right here on my desk?
Oh, cool. If that would greatly benefit us as a podcast, if you could show that off to the audience while you're doing
them on
that.
The podcast, yeah, of course.
Yeah. How did they feel? I don't know if you had a chance to play the original Kobe 3s, but do you know any subtle differences?
I did not play in the original.
Oh, okay.
So I did not play in the original. So I've only played in these, and they're obviously super white.
Yeah,
but I like them. It's almost like, it's honestly like playing in the 40. It kind of has like that feel of playing in the Jordan 40. pretty similar setup. This has Cushlon. It has a Strobel board. There's no zoom in these. It used Cushlon 3.0 instead of zoom, but the feel was pretty similar because that Strobel board really kind of takes over, and like that's really what you feel, unless you're really putting in some pressure into the shoes. But yeah, they look cool. They're great. It was the first time something I realized, like I haven't worn a proper high top basketball shoe in probably 10 years or so.
Really?
I was trying to think of when was the last time I wore a high top like basketball shoe. Like everything else has been like a mid top or a low. Like there hasn't been a lot of like high top shoes. And so putting these on, I was like, oh man, I kind of forgot what this feels like to wear a shoe that goes this high up on my ankle. So that part was cool. But yeah, they're great. It's a good basketball shoe. Even though it's technically a Protro, like the tech that they put in it and the upgrades that they've done have really brought it into the modern age. This is, in my opinion, this feels like the first proper Rotro. Like they've done they like, oh, we're going to change out the cushioning, or we're going to change out this little piece or that little piece to bring it into the future. This feels like the first really big push into like, this is a modern basketball shoe. It just looks like an older shoe kind of thing.
Right, because I think they also made changes to like the upper to make it a little bit more breathable, I believe. Like the cuts on the diamond cuts are a little bit wider or something. So yeah, in terms of, instead of just, messing with the tooling inside, they're actually doing stuff to the upper as well to make it feel like more of a modern basketball shoe, which is wild to think about because the Kobe 3 was what, 2007, 2008? To us, that sounds like a modern basketball shoe because we were there. That's modern to us. But to say like, oh, in 2025, what you think about is like almost 20 years later, you're like, oh no. But that's modern. But that's just how that goes. But yes, no, it's good to know that they're going beyond just working with the innards, and they are tweaking stuff on the upper as well. And you mentioned that it's been a while since you've worn high cut basketball shoes, and I had to think about it for myself too. When was the last time I wore high tops on a basketball court? It might have been the Kobe 9. It might have been the Kobe 9, which is basically probably a decade ago. Since I've worn like high tops,
like a proper high top,
like a proper high top.
It's crazy, right?
And even that, but even that is like almost kind of just simulating a high top, because if you think about the Kobe 9, it's a fly knit upper. It's not the most. It's almost just giving you like a feeling of a lockdown fit when you're wearing it. Like it's almost like a placebo effect. It's like, oh, it's high. I'm gonna be protected. My ankles are gonna be fine. But it's like, yeah, but it's fly knit. It's not like a leather. It's not like a synthetic material on there. So it's kind of just giving you like a feeling that you're wearing high socks almost to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So it's not actually like true high cuts. If I had to go back and really think about like actual high cuts, I can't even remember the last time. Maybe those DeAndre Jordans that Under Armour may have given us like way back in the days.
Oh, those.
But those are ultra high cuts.
I was looking. I'm looking through stuff that I have here on the wall, and I don't. Nothing here. I don't have anything here on the walls or anything that's like a proper high top. So it's been years, quite literally years, maybe decades.
And far cry from like, when we were kids, like when we were wearing like the Reebok pumps or like, those kinds of sneakers, which were really high tops. I wanted to circle back on something that you mentioned in regards to the Kobe 9, the Moonwalker. I've always had beef with that name because it's purple.
Yeah, we talked about this too. Yeah.
Did we talk about this? Oh no, you talked about it.
No, we didn't. We didn't talk. But we talked about it yesterday. It was a topic of discussion yesterday as well, I should say.
As in, what does purple have to do with Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Because, and I remember writing, I think like a 5-page diatribe on Kicks on Fire back in the days. What the bleep does purple have to do with Michael Jackson? This is more of a Prince shoe than a Michael Jackson shoe. I understand that there's the moon crater like graphic on the outsole. I get that. But the purple, like when you look at that, you're not thinking Michael Jackson, you're thinking Prince. Like if this was called Purple Rain I would have been totally fine with it. I would have been like, yeah, that's cool, guys. Like, cool. And I understand, like, I think they kind of allude to it. Like, Nike did allude to it originally when it originally came out. They allude to, like, that it being, like, a tribute to Michael Jackson, but never explicitly saying it's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I've always just had, it's always, like, when it first came out, I was like, it's not Moonwalker, guys. Like, it's, how am I the person who is like being super annoyed by this? And I had to be, because that was part of the job, was to actually, like, bring out these hot takes. And it's like, it's not really a hot take because it's purple. Like, it's so obvious that this is more of a Prince homage than a Michael Jackson homage. And I think Kobe may have actually talked about, like, being inspired by Michael and all that stuff. And I get it, but it's still purple, guys. Like, and I tried to look this up. I Googled Michael Jackson wearing purple. Was there ever a time where Michael Jackson wore, like, an explicitly purple suit? And I really couldn't find anything there. And it was, you see, like, stuff that Michael wore back in the days, but there was never really like a purple, which made me think, did he avoid purple deliberately because he didn't want to be compared to Prince? Like, was that part of, was that a whole thing? Was maybe that a whole thing? So, it's just the thing that has, one of the things that have just bothered me. And, I don't know who came up with the Moonwalker name right away, and it just stuck, and it stuck for years. And I did hear about that. Like, we can't call it Moonwalker anymore. It has to be Hyper Grape. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I get, and I still understand that the whole, it's called Moonwalker. People are just going to keep calling it Moonwalker. I've learned not to fight that stuff anymore. It's not real, but to me, it's still just, it's Prince. It's Purple Rain. Like, that's what it should be. It's like,
maybe I'm going to throw this out here, and I don't have anything to back this up.
Okay.
Maybe the true inspiration is Prince. However, making the shoe purple was too much of a clear homage. Like, you can't get that past IP. Like, no lawyer is going to let you say, oh, the shoe is inspired by Prince and make it purple. Prince is going to sue you. That, like, that, like, maybe that's the energy there. And so they decided, oh, let's call it his rival.
Sure.
Michael Jackson. You can't call it Michael Jackson, so you go with the name Moonwalker after the dance kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's almost like someone having a bird and calling it, like, oh, it's the magic. The bird is magic because they do magic with birds, but the bird is actually Larry Bird kind of thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's maybe it's that kind of thing where it's like they just found something to make it work. Totally making that up and pulled that one out of the air just now, but I don't know. I've always wanted to look it up, and I never really did look up, like, what's the purple connection to Michael Jackson. There's got to be something. I don't know, like, if his suit was purple, if the color, something on his bonnet was purple or something like that. I mean, is his tie or his cummerbund. I said bonnet, definitely not his bonnet, because he didn't wear those. There's something. There's got to be something there that brings it all together, unless, it was one of those things where they're like, okay, we obviously can't call this Prince or Purple Rain or anything like that, because, Warner Brothers or Prince will sue the hell out of us, and so we'll just call it Moonwalker and throw a moon graphic on the outsole.
Yeah, and I think that's how they got the Moonwalker out of it, is because there's the moon graphic. I mean, maybe that's the only thing. So I remember when I wrote that on Kickstarter, which nobody can look up anymore, because thanks, guys. I wrote something to the effect of, like, yes, you were talking about, like, the rivalry, like, the unspoken, not necessarily hyped up rivalry between Prince and Michael Jackson. And no, I kind of alluded to that as well, but not as explicitly as you said right now. Like, I didn't, like, go into maybe, Nike couldn't call it Moonwalker or couldn't call it Purple Rain. I didn't go into that detail. Yeah. But I just more about this, maybe it's just more symbolic of the actual rivalry that the two had, but they just can't say it out loud. Like, maybe look, Kobe was, for sure, anybody that age, our age, was inspired by Prince, was inspired by Michael Jackson. And, those were the two biggest, stars of the time. So why wouldn't you be inspired by one? And if you're a fan of both, like, you're a fan of both of, each other's music, I mean, yeah, that's cool. So, Kobe, maybe it was just like, I want to pay homage to both. but we can't say one or the other. So let's just put this out there and call it Hyper Grape and call it a day, guys.
Yeah, because like I don't even like I didn't know there was a rivalry between Michael Jackson and Prince until I was older.
Mm-hmm.
When I was listening to them, when I first was introduced to them, I had no idea there was a rivalry between those two.
Yeah, I mean, like there's like that infamous Quincy Jones like story about like they were at a party or something, like both of them were at a party and Michael Jackson did a performance or something like that. And then afterwards, I think he said something to Quincy Jones about like, get Prince up here. And Prince wasn't ready, apparently. Like he wasn't ready to perform. He was just like called out like, hey, let's get Prince out here. And I guess they were like youngers, like their 20s and all that stuff, like early 80s or something.
Yeah.
And I guess Prince wasn't prepared, but he still came out to the stage. And then I'm not 100% sure if I'm just making this up or like I heard this on a podcast. Apparently Prince was like riding the shoulders of his bodyguard to the stage, which sounds very Prince. And he gets up there and he bombs. And he bombs the performance and just starts gyrating and doing Prince stuff. And it's like, it's really bad. And it seems like the only recorded instance of Prince looking bad in a performance. And, you know, maybe that's the start of that rivalry or something. But
oh, wow. Interesting.
It's like, it's one of those prime examples of like how Michael Jackson was secretly gangster. You know, he's like, oh,
wow,
oh, that Prince guy is coming up. Let's cut that guy down to size or something. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, like the rivalry, you didn't really hear about it because we were kids. You don't really think about it. You just hear the songs and you're like, I love that song or something like that. It's not until later on you're like, oh wow, it got real. Well, real as it gets, but
as real as
yeah. So maybe Kobe knew about that stuff or heard about that stuff, and just later on with the Kobe 9, because the whole big thing about the Kobe 9 was like the whole Muse stuff, right? Where he's talking about like his inspirations and the stuff that he was he looked for, to be inspired by, whether his art or like on the court and all that stuff. And Prince and Michael Jackson were probably a muse, but he couldn't say it out. Like Nike couldn't say it out loud. And but the fact that it's just been Moonwalker
obviously.
Yeah, and it still can, obviously. But the fact that the sneaker community has just called it Moonwalker this whole time has always just been like, it's purple.
Yeah,
Prince.
It's purple. It's got to be Prince,
guys. What are we doing here? It's like when I think about like who makes these nicknames, I'm like, are you kids like 15 or something that y'all weren't around or something? But like the people our age should be calling this out. And it felt like there was a time there, like
these people are old. There's a bunch of people that are older. They know. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how Nike tells the story this time, because I don't think they've officially put anything out.
Right. Besides calling it Hyper Grape. Yeah. So
they were very specific with us that we called that it's called Hyper Grape and not called Moonwalker.
Can't call it that. And I understand legal reasons you can't call it that. Like you maybe can allude to it kind of like before you can allude to it, but you can't like explicitly say it out loud. But yeah, that's just always something that has bugged me for a very, very, very long time. And I'm glad that the shoe is coming back. I think Nike did send me a pair of those. I have no idea where they are. So I'm going to be like, oh God, am I going to have to like re-up? Am I going to have to re-up just because I can't find mine anymore?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I may have a pair somewhere, but I don't know.
Yes. This is, this is one of those like Juan and Jacques are old that they received the original versions and have no idea where they are.
I know that I was talking about that yesterday as well. I was like, the strange part for me is that I was actively a part of this industry when the first versions of all of these sneakers were released, and now they're being re-released, and I'm still a part of that same industry. So that's crazy.
But it's cool. I think it gives us that perspective. That gives us that experience. So no one just says Moonwalker. We call it Prince. God darn it.
Juan's changing the name, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Moonwalker. It's Prince. It's Purple Rain. Unofficially, I'm not saying Nike should like officially call it Purple Rain unless they can talk to the Prince estate, and if they do, great. I will wear my the Prince jerseys from Minnesota when they did that Prince tribute like a couple years ago. And I have like the Jimmy Butler version, which is hilarious because I don't think Jimmy Butler ever wore those. I will gladly wear those out with the Kobe 9 Purple Rain. So if that ever comes to pass, so I'm super down for that.
That's a good fit.
Totally. All right. So moving on though, another part that was interesting about the whole Mamba Day thing, which I guess is just tangentially related, is I guess there's this new thing at Nike that they're calling Sneakers Reserve, and lo and behold, it's pre-orders.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, right? I think Nike is actually doing a pre-order for, I believe it's the Kobe 3 Christmas. Which, did you get a chance to see that at the thing?
I saw it. It has this like blue, has this
Mm-hmm.
like icy blue to it. It looks cool. It looks cool. I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's necessarily something that I would go out and grab right away, but it definitely looks cool. It's a very interesting looking sneaker, and the details, the way that they're storytelling around it, the way that they're like updating the upper without like bastardizing the shoe is really cool.
Right. And I think it's an interesting sneaker to start, this new program with. Is a Kobe that, let's be honest, doesn't get the same amount of publicity or love among the wider sneaker community. I think it's like beloved by hoopers, like in terms of like performance and everything. I believe the Kobe 3 is, along with the Kobe 2, is well regarded among the hooper community. But in regards to like the sneakerheads, or like, their thing is like Kobe 4, like once it went low, Kobe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, maybe not so much to 7. But to start this with the Kobe 3 is an interesting test case, and whether this is going to work or not. So what it looks like is that they left it up open for pre-order for a limited amount of time, and there's really no like actual when it's actually going to come out. I'm assuming it's going to be out for Christmas, but I wonder how it's going to play with like future releases, how Nike Sneakers Reserve is going to work with other releases that are, let's say, a little bit more hyped. Because I don't know what the reaction is going to be to the Kobe 3, because I did see that the Kobe 3 Halo, funny enough, I did get the Shatter Backboard ones, and they were pretty much available on Sneakers app. I didn't even get them there. I went to I happened to be at the mall on Saturday, and I, just went to a Foot Locker and just got it there.
Yeah.
But the Kobe 3 Halo was just available on the Sneakers app. And, I was like, well, no problem, huh? So I wonder how the reaction is going to be for Sneakers Reserve once we start getting to actual, other pairs, whether it's like a limited Air Force One or limited Air Jordan or whatever is like the hot shoe at the moment. I wonder how Nike is going to play that, because with the Kobe 3, okay, interesting. Like, I think it's going to work to a certain degree, but I don't know if it's going to be like, I don't know how Nike is going to, judge success or failure with this.
I think they're doing a couple of things. I think they're trying to manage cost on Kobe's. They are just not sure how the public is going to respond, especially with a silhouette like the 3. I don't think the Halo silhouettes have ever really done well in particular. The all-white sneaker, I just don't, from what I recall, that none of them have just been like popping. So I think that's why we see some still on Nike.com or on the sneakers app. The pre-orders, I love the idea. I don't know how much they're going to expand it. I would love for them to obviously expand it to more sneakers to let people buy them.
Right.
But this is the first like large scale version of that I think we've seen. So we'll see how it all rolls out and how the public kind of responds to it. Some people aren't taking well to it. Some people are
interesting, upset
that they're giving Nike money to hold on to until whatever it is, till the shoe gets here. Sure. And I get that, it's like a loan or like a whatever, but I think this helps everybody, one, get the shoe that they want, two, helps Nike judge, like streamline. So like, okay, we don't need to make 500,000 of these because we've only got 50,000 pre-orders. Okay, so let's do 50,000 and then do an extra, 10 to 20 for people that didn't get them, kind of thing, or that didn't do the pre-order. Because the other thing about the the pre-order is that it's limited. Reservations are limited on a sneaker that they haven't even made yet, which doesn't make sense, but that's where they are with it.
Yeah, I wonder how it's gonna work in the future when it comes to like let's just use like the holiday Air Jordan 11 for example, right? Like say they open pre-orders for the holiday Air Jordan 11, you pay for it in well, maybe next year. Let's not use this year as an example, but say like June of next year they open up pre-orders for like you say like a limited amount of time, like a day or two. Like yeah, they'll have like the exact production like, "Oh, okay, so we know how much we have to make." But then you did mention that they might still make more for people who didn't get them. I wonder how people are going to react to I thought the idea of pre-order was like I would secure my pair, but I could still buy them on release day. So there's a lot of different things that Nike has to juggle in regards to that. And yeah, like so and also for people who are complaining about pre-orders, I'm assuming they've never had to like pre-order a video game console before or like any other thing that's of like, hype or value or anything like that. I'm like, yeah, you're kind of doing that, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's just part of the business sometimes. It's like, in order to secure the thing that you want, you kind of have to give them a little bit of money. I understand, like, the whole loan thing, right? Is like, but you're just reserving it. Like, if you don't want to pre-order, then don't. Like, there's also that thing, right? I wonder also if like Nike in the future, in order to incentivize pre-orders, they do take like a video game route. Like, oh, if you pre-order like the Kobe 3 Protro, like, we'll give you like a special lace debray or like a special something, like you mentioned the Kobe jewelry or whatever, like a
Oh,
little
I like
piece or like
that.
a T-shirt or something like an incentive for pre-orders, right? And then that will gain people and like incentivize a pre-order, and then they still get to
Yeah.
make extra money on release day because they'll still release like not as many as you said, like maybe they won't make 500,000 pairs. Like say they do get 15,000 pre-orders, they'll just make an extra 10,000 because they have an
Right.
idea of what the actual market is. They can just release 10,000 more. Now, those 10,000 pairs don't come with the incentives, don't come with like
Right.
those special pre-order bonuses or anything like that. So
Yes.
there's a lot of
Yes.
different ways that I think Nike can go about this that I think will work out well for them. And I think people who are like complaining for the sake of complaining is like, dog, we've been asking for this for years. This is finally like our
Years in the
opportunity.
making.
Yeah, this is years in the making,
Yeah.
and they're actually finally following through on it. I'm not saying just throw your money at Nike because you want the pre-order thing to work. But what I am saying is like, let Nike know that we want this with future stuff, like whether it's on socials or whatever, just find a way to like let Nike know that this is something that we want and that, you guys also have to like give us a reason to pre-order, and to just
Yeah.
give us that incentive as well, because this is something that has been bubbling for years. This is something that has like been a point of annoyance for a lot of people in the community is like, yeah, like, and people just say, oh, I don't want this. But like you probably were like the same people who are asking for this. You're like,
Yep.
you guys were willing back then to like give whatever 160 for like say the shattered backboard ones in 2015. Say those had a pre-order. You would have gladly paid the 160 plus tax back then for that. And
Yeah.
now you don't
Yep.
want it? Now's the time. And I get it, like, if you want to talk about the economy and blah, 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 I understand that. But just speaking purely from like, I want this sneaker. Let me get this straight. I want this sneaker. All I have to do is like give them whatever, 100 something bucks for it. Like, and I just have to wait a couple months for it. And it just ensures that I don't have to fight for it on release day. I don't have to get in line. I don't have to take an L on Sneakers app. All I have to do is just have some patience. Sign me up.
Yeah. I think I'm also thinking it's going to have a big impact on sneaker culture as far as
Sure.
like resellers.
Mm-hmm.
Because if everybody can get it, why deal with the reseller? The
Yeah.
other thing is like, I think they'll have to make more of the special versions in case just for like errors and omissions, I guess,
Sure,
in a
sure, sure.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if they, they 100, say, 20,000 people pre-order, they need to probably do like 22, 24 just for mistakes that are made,
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
based on, whatever that number is. Like, I imagine it can't be 10%. It's probably like 5% or something like that, or variance or something like that.
Yeah. To
it'll be gonna be interesting. I'm anxious to see them roll it out post Kobe to to see how it responds to a shoe that's really hyped. I don't think those Christmas Kobe's are super hyped, and maybe that's why they're using it kind of as a testing ground. It's almost like Nike ID when Kobe became one the top 10 for points or something like that, and we got to order the I think it was the
Kobe
9.
9. Yeah. It was the Kobe 9 when he broke. I think was it when he passed MJ for the scoring in the scoring list or something like that. Yeah. Did I get those? Oh no, I think I got the first time the multicolor went on Nike ID. I think I lucked out and got that. I don't think I got the scoring stuff. But anyways, yeah, no, I mean, I think this is a great thing. Like, I think this will make people super interested in a way that maybe they haven't before, just because they've been so discouraged by taking so many L's on sneakers. Like, say we get to a future where like every week there's 1 or 2 pairs that come out and they're like, all you have to do is like wait a couple months, have a little patience, like, and this will teach people to have some patience instead of like the immediacy of like, I get this shoe, I post it on socials and then blah, like this will teach maybe this is just a small little hope, right? It's like you teach teach the kids like, some patience and just have a little bit of like, oh, it'll be worth it when it comes, when it shows up on my doorstep on whatever day it's supposed to come out, right? Like it'll just have this feeling of like no longer instant gratification. It's more just like, there it is, So it's not this microwave, like I just get this thing now and blah, blah, blah. I just, show it off and then it's on to the next thing, right? It's like, no, I have to wait. And you're anticipating it too. There's that anticipation. It's like, oh man, like 1 week, couple days, so-and-so is going to show up, right? And so I think it's a good thing ultimately. And I hope it does work out and that Nike tweaks it to the point where, every once in a while, but maybe not every week, but like every couple of weeks, it's like, hey, we have this thing up for pre-order. We'll see you guys in a couple of months. You guys were going to give us that money anyway.
Yeah, I really do like that concept, the pre-order. I mean, we've talked about it for years, so
yes,
it'll be interesting to see if they roll it out past Kobe, because I would love for them to do that.
I do think though, like if they had put that what was it, the Kobe 3 low, which I don't think I've ever seen before. Is that the first time? I think they also did they show it off there? The Kobe 3 low for the first time. I could be wrong.
So we saw it on Vanessa's story.
Okay.
It looks good. From what I understand, it has all the same tech.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really give a pricing or when it was going to release, but it's very interesting to me. I personally think it looks better than the high. So
exactly. We'll see. You're right. Like I think I saw that and I was like, does that look better? Does that look more in line with what tastes are today? That kind of thing. And who would have thought just something as simple as making it a low would just unlock this like whole possibility of like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, same way. So I talked to the Kobe product line manager, the guy named Indiana, and I was telling him that like, oh, this I feel like this is going to be better than the 3. The 3 low is gonna outshine the 3 in my opinion, just the way that it looks and the way that you can put texture on it. And I told him to do a collab to really get it popping, something like Undefeated or something like that. But yeah, it looks, in my opinion, it looks really good, and I'm excited to see how they bring it to market. I don't think Vanessa was supposed to show it yesterday.
Oh,
I think
it
wasn't supposed to happen for a few months because the shoe doesn't come out until next year.
Oh,
so we'll see. Okay. We'll see what happens.
Well, who's gonna tell Vanessa no?
Apparently, somebody needs to.
Well, we all know that's not gonna happen. Anyways, now I remember. So before the show, we were talking about like stuff we were gonna talk about on the show. And there was this one topic that I was just, in my mind, I just couldn't think of what it was. And now here it is. It actually relates to you because you texted me earlier that you were going to post this story, a post about one Tommy Fleetwood. And congratulations to him. He had finally won for the first time on the PGA Tour after many, many years of heartbreak. and second place is, and third place is in. I think he has the record for the most top 5 finishes ever without a win, which is both an amazing stat and one that is, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and let's put this in perspective. Like, Tommy's not hurting for money. He has never won, but he's not hurting for money. So let's clear that up right now. Where people are like, "Oh, poor golfer." Nah, it is poor golfer, but it's not poor golfer. Mm-hmm. It's poor golfer, but he's not a poor golfer. Maybe I'll say it that way.
He's not a struggle golfer, is what we're getting at. No,
yeah,
he's not. He has actually won several times on different tours throughout the world. It's just that it just so happens that he has just not won on the American PGA Tour proper.
Yeah, and it's awesome because it's like the tour championship. It's like literally it's like basically the NBA finals of the season, and he won. That's cool for his first time. That's like an underdog team or a Cinderella team making it to the finals and winning. It's awesome. I love it.
Right. And that's where we kind of have like I wouldn't say like a difference opinion, but you did say like, oh, the tour championship is kind of like the NBA championship. And I don't know. Like, I understand that it's the one where, it has the most money. It's technically the season finale of golf. I mean, the PGA Tour and all that stuff. But for years, we just have never, well, media wise, and even me personally, have never really we treat the tour championship the same way we treat like the Players Championship. It's a big event, but it's never one of the events, because when you think about the events in golf, there's 4 plus 1. It's the 4 majors plus the Ryder Cup. When we think about the Tour Championship, we think about the Players. It's good. The fields are always great. The competition is always great, but it just doesn't spark the same, like, whatever you want to call it, that special something, because you don't think about the beautiful Augusta National. You don't think about the tradition of the Open Championship. You don't think about how rough it is, how difficult it is, like with the US Open. And you don't think about the PGA for whatever reason. But then there's the Ryder Cup, which just has like your America versus Europe. And that's just a whole thing. It's always been heated. It's always been fun. So when golf fans, when they get up for something, it's for those 5 events. So that's why, like, when Tommy Fleetwood wins the Tour Championship, it's cool, it's great. It just doesn't spark the same, it just doesn't have that same pop as those 5 events in particular. But I do get the importance of it. And, and you talked about it on your video where you talked about like how Nike is, and how kind of Nike is doing Tommy Fleetwood a little dirty, because they did post something about Tommy winning the Tour Championship, but they don't post it on their main feed. They don't actually put it on like their main page. They just posted a story. And that's not, but there's a part of me that understands why, because like when I look at like the Nike feed just in general, it seems like they're really picky about the stuff that they put on there. And it's not just maybe like they're not ignoring golf, because Scottie Scheffler was there recently because he did win, what was it, the Open? He won the Open. So maybe it's not a golf thing. It's more just like the Tour Championship thing. But I do understand like the lack of, because if it was Scottie Scheffler winning the Tour Championship, I'm pretty sure he would be on that front page as well. So,
exactly.
So, I mean, like, I do understand it from both perspectives, but I also kind of get why Nike is like really selective when it comes to like who they want to highlight and what events they want to like, I don't necessarily promote, but just like, kind of give that Nike shine. Cause there's like, it seems like there's levels to it. It's like, oh, you did something cool. Okay. Well, you get a story, but if you did something, whoa, very great or something, like that gets like, gets stuck on the main page. And we're kind of like, for us, like Tommy Fleetwood deserves to be on that main page and not just a story that goes away after 24 hours. It just seems like Nike just doesn't feel that way, which is both like, I get it from their end, but I also get it as like a golf fan. Is like, come on, guys, like we've been following this story for years.
Yeah, I think that's a Nike. I think this is a fumble on Nike Golf's part. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like. I don't subscribe to the majors are the only thing that matter in golf, kind of that sort of thinking. I know a lot of people think like, oh, he has X amount of majors that gives him certain,
Pedigree, prestige.
gives him a certain pedigree above everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's all self-imposed. We've all made those tournaments bigger. To me, being in the field and winning against literally the 30 best guys on the tour up to that point, it's like, I mean, it's the same thing. I look at it like a Sweet 16. Like everybody plays and everybody's going after each other. No matter what kind of season you had, you get ranked. But when the ball hits the court, though, it's who's the best at that moment on that day. This is the end of the season, and so I look at the Tour Championship as meaningful, as like this is capping off the season. This is the last final thing to celebrate this entire season of golf, not just like these major moments. This celebrates the entire season of golf, how you've been ranked. Have you been playing good enough to get into this tournament? And now this is where we pick the winner. Kind of like, now I shouldn't say we pick the winner. This is where the winner, makes himself known. So for me, that's what I was so upset about. Like they didn't put Scotty up there last week, and I was like, okay, I get that. Like it's the BMW Championship. It's on the way to the final Tour Championship. It's not like, it's like a playoff win. All right, you made it to the finals. All right, cool. This is the final. This is the finals. Now, who's going to win? So that part just, it rubbed me the wrong way. And like with it being such a, like that, and the fact that it was such a big win for him, like his first win was the championship of the season. Like that, like having that be your moment to win your first thing, like that's a big deal. And I just think Nike just kind of ignored that by putting them in the feed. I mean, by putting him in the story. I said it kind of in the on the reel that I made, that like Nike putting it in the story makes it less about, hey, this is a big moment for him. This is a memorable moment. Congratulations for, all the struggles and all the adversity you went through. And they just put it in the story like it's a forgettable moment. Like stories are made for forgettable moments, for things that day and then they're gone tomorrow. This isn't a that day gone tomorrow kind of moment for him or for really anybody in the golf space. This is a moment that people are going to remember. And Nike, in my opinion, tossed it away like it was like disposable content.
Right. I wonder though if it wasn't Tommy Fleetwood, if it was Scotty Scheffler, if it was, that because of like, Scheffler's position now, would they have put him front and center? So that's also an interesting thing to think about. And
to think about because he's number one. Yeah.
And I think it comes back to like conditioning. We've been conditioned to believe that the majors are what matters, that the Ryder Cup is what matters. So it's on everybody's part, whether it's Nike, the PGA, golf influencers, to really hype up these other events, to really, show that, hey, these things matter. These things are important.
Yep.
So, and I feel like the PGA has kind of been dealing with that for years, ever since they implemented like, the FedEx Cup. It's the FedEx Cup, right? See, this is the problem. It's called the FedEx Cup. Like ever since they implemented that, like I remember back in the 90s, the Tour Championship was, the Tour Championship, it's the end of the season. To me, that was just always like the symbol of like, the season's over. It's time for silly season. Let's watch like, all the 4 major winners play on like a tournament, or watch like silly golf, do all the exhibition stuff. That was always to me like the signal of like the season was over. So I'm kind of like in that group of like, I am, my golf interest peaks around major season time, and then if it's a Ryder Cup year. But I'll also pay attention to the players. I'll also pay attention to the Tour Championship, but it's just not with the same level of interest, because I am one of those people who have been conditioned through the years, throughout my entire life, to really think there's the 4 that matter. There's the 4 that truly genuinely matter to your resume. And it's weird, right? Because you look at, there's a lot of great players who have never won a major, like, but they have like, a lot of wins on their belt. So,
Yeah.
are they lesser than because they don't they're not like compared to like a player who, doesn't have a lot of wins, but has that one major. Like, are they lesser than just because they never got that major? So that's always going to be like the eternal argument with like, golf fans is like how much value is placed on majors. And for me, there's a lot of value placed on them, but I'm also starting to be like, yeah, man, but you look at these other players like a Tommy Fleetwood, who now has a tour championship, but currently doesn't have a major. Is he lesser than like a JJ Spawn who won like, the US Open, or, another player like a Xander Schauffele? Well, he has two, so that's actually kind of a pretty big deal. But, when you think about like a lot of like golfers who have that one major, but then you look at like, other players who have like a players or a tour championship and have, another wins on the resume. Are they lesser than? Like, think about Ricky Fowler, like one of the most popular players on tour, but doesn't have a major, but has a lot of wins.
Doesn't have a major. Has a lot of wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how many wins does Ricky have?
Ricky has quite a few, but he did go through like a struggle period, but then got back to winning. Was it like last year or 2 years ago or something like that? But
wow. So Ricky, so like I'm doing a quick search here. Ricky has 6 wins on the tour.
Yeah. So does
great.
that mean? Again, does he?
But there's a guy like Doug Sanders has 20 PGA Tour wins. And no majors. Steve Stricker has 12 PGA Tour wins.
Steve Stricker.
No majors.
Yep.
Which is wow. Bruce Litsky. I don't know who that is. I've never heard of him. But he has 13 PGA Tour wins, never won a major. And there's a guy named Harry Lighthorse Cooper from the early 20s, the 1920s. He had 31 PGA Tour wins and no majors.
Yeah. Were they actually doing majors?
Doug Sanders is probably the guy with the most 20 PGA Tour wins, no majors. Like that's like I mean, it's because golf is so different. It's hard to quantify how that where that ranks.
Right. Yeah, and it comes down to like it's almost like this the argument of like would you rather have like if you're like a Doug Sanders who has like 20 wins, would you take those 20 wins, or would you rather be like, again, like JJ Spawn's just the first person that comes up because he's the most recent one? Would you rather be like a JJ who has one major but maybe doesn't have a lot of wins besides that? I think he does have like 1 or 2 wins. So, and I think for a lot of people, and I'm not saying golfers, I'm thinking about fans. I think for a lot of fans, they would rather be on the JJ side that has 1 or 2, 3, 4 wins, but has that major, instead of like a Doug Sanders who has 20. I think for a lot of golf fans, I think they're in that mindset. So it's up to like everybody else to really just convince, like maybe not convince, but like, just really get people more like interested in the other stuff. Like, kind of get out of the mindset that the majors are the only thing that matters.
That the majors are count. Yeah. It's almost like, would you rather be Charles Barkley, or would you rather be Robert Horry?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, that's the eternal basketball argument. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, what are you Charles Barkley or Robert Horry? Which one had a better career?
Okay. Are you asking me? Because
no, I'm just saying.
Okay.
But we can leave it at that. Let the audience answer that. Let us know, who do you think had a better career, Charles Barkley or Robert Horry?
I know Robert Horry.
Derek Fisher.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little bit easier to answer. But I will say this about Robert Horry: only one of them was there for me when I needed a cameo, when I needed the most for my nephew's wedding. So I'll just leave it at that.
Wow.
In the argument between Charles Barkley and Robert Horry, only one person was there for me when I needed them the most.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And on that note, we are almost done with the show, Jacques, for episode 51 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. But in honor of, belated Mamba Day, let us do the Kobe Bryant Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus. All right, so for this one, the rules are... I am firing up the Google Doc. 1 Adidas sneaker, one Nike
one Adidas
sneaker,
one
yes,
Nike,
one PE, a wild card, which is basically any, doesn't matter, Nike,
wild
Adidas,
card. Okay,
Jordan,
Adidas,
whatever,
Nike,
when he was a free
PE,
agent,
wild card.
and for something special, a Kobe sneaker commercial. So
Kobe sneaker commercial.
Any memorable
I think I went
Kobe
first last
commercial?
week.
Yes.
So I think it's your turn to go first.
Okay. So for my pick for the Adidas Kobe sneaker for my Mount Rushmore, I'm going to go with the EQT 97, the pair that he wore when he won the slam dunk contest. Now, I know a lot of people crap on that dunk contest, but dog, Kobe still won, man. Like, he won a dunk contest, and he actually had the nerve.
I forget that he wins a dunk contest.
Yeah. I mean, that was when Brandy was there, and, there was that whole hype between them, and it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But, for people who get on, like, this generation, starting with LeBron for never participating in a dunk contest and all that stuff, hey, man, at least Mamba went out there and did it. Even if it wasn't the greatest dunk contest. I remember that one not being particularly memorable. I think that was like the, Michael Finley did like a cartwheel or something. And it, and you're like, wait, what? It didn't
do
look
what you
pretty.
Gotta do, bro. Gotta get attention. You gotta try to get attention, man. He was working.
Yeah.
He was working hard.
Yeah. Kobe did not have the best arsenal, which is wild because when you think about like his arsenal of dunks in game, he could have like had a better performance.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could have imagined he would have had like a better dunk contest performance, but he did what he had to do. He got his championship on his rookie year and didn't have to do it again. That should have been what LeBron did.
I respect
but,
it. I respect it.
All right.
All right. So then my Kobe, first Adidas Kobe, I would say my favorite Adidas Kobe is the KB8. I just love that shoe. They call it the Crazy 8 now, but we're going to refer to it as the KB8. I just like the design, the way that it's set up, everything, the laces, the how the Adidas stripes kind of come up from the sides and kind of wrap you and lock you in. It's just my favorite.
Yep.
Favorite Kobe sneaker from the Adidas side. Now, when it comes to Nike, that's a super hard question.
That's
because there's so many good ones. I feel like if anything, you have to go with the Kobe 5. I feel like that's kind of it's like either like the 5 or like it's okay. I'm gonna go with the 5 for otherwise I'll just be here arguing with myself back and forth. So I'm gonna go with the Kobe 5 as my favorite Nike Kobe sneaker.
All right, cool. No, that's a good choice. I mean, I remember getting the big stage pair in particular. The one that he wore when they won the championship in 2010. So I'll always have fond memories of that particular, Kobe. Since you went with that, I seriously considered going with the Kobe 5. But since you went with the 5, I think I'm gonna go with the. I'm either gonna go with the 4 or the 9. Gosh, I think I'll go with the 9, the 4, the Kobe 4 or the Kobe 9.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think I will go with the Kobe 9 only because of I guess the Kobe 4 was when they went low, revolutionized, they weren't the first low top basketball shoes, but they were the ones that popularized it. But I think I'm going to go with the Kobe 9 because of the evolution from the 4 to the 9, where we got Flyknit and where they told that story of, with Kobe's Achilles injury and all that stuff. With the stitches on the back. So the storytelling aspect was there, and the whole rollout of it, the muses, going back to the muses and the different colorways, and how that was very perfect for that time period where we were still like in our multicolor phase, where like multicolor sneakers were the thing. And, having that Flyknit upper opened it up to so much possibilities of what could be possible, in terms of like colorways. So I think I'm going to go with that for my Rushmore pair.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so for my pick for PE, I think I'm going to go with, it actually did release eventually. It's the Kobe 8, the one that ended up being called the Purple Platinum. And it's the Kobe, it's like an engineered mesh pair. I mean, it's basically a solid like Kobe 8 in purple, like varying shades of like purple, almost to like a pinkish kind of like gradient kind of look to it. and it had like a reflective swoosh. And I remember just seeing that for the first time. I don't know if it was Kobe or Nick Young who wore it, but I was like, yo, those are fire. Those are unbelievable. Those are like the coolest looking Kobe sneakers. My pair's here somewhere in the garage to this day. I remember that was like one of those I was like, I had to get the Foot Locker because I didn't think I was gonna get that pair because it was like a GR. But I was like, I just have to go to Foot Locker, go get a pair of mine. And I did, and I was like, I'm so happy. But so it was a PE that eventually did release. So I'm gonna go with the Kobe 8 Purple Platinum.
So this one, I kind of, in my mind, when you said Kobe PE, I was thinking just like a PE of Kobe's shoes versus the PEs that Kobe actually wore. So with that mind frame, I'm going to go with the Argentina pair that DeMar DeRozan wore.
Yeah.
Because they're just it's like so good. Just so good. Although I saw yesterday, was it a 4? I gotta look at my phone real quick. There was a Kobe 4, but it was like a bright yellow. Is it a 4? Yeah, a Kobe 4 in like this bright yellow colorway. I don't know if you can see that, but
nice.
So that I don't remember seeing those.
But those pretty cool.
When I asked the guy about him, he said that he got him from China because one of his friends was playing ball in China, and that's and he sent them back a pair. So yeah, I don't remember seeing that colorway. So if somebody knows what that colorway is, let us know because I don't remember that. But if my PE is going to be the Argentina,
very cool.
Now for the wild card,
could be anything.
I wasn't even thinking about the wild card. I was so focused on the I'll go with the undefeated Kobe 2s. Kobe 1s. Sorry. Yeah. The undefeated pair they released 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 maybe.
Okay.
Probably more.
Yeah. Those are good.
Probably the camo pair.
Yeah. Those hurt. Those hurt because I never
those
got a pair
hurt.
Of those. Those hurt.
Oh
man, because the Kobe one, the undefeated, was it the green camo pair? I think like it was
the green camo.
I think I saw Giannis wear those, and I was like, oh, those are so cool, man.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
And I was seriously considering. Oh, okay, so that's your wild card. So I seriously considered like buying them at resale when they first came. I was like, it was like 400. I was like, I could. Now they're like 1,500. Yeah, no. Now they're 1,500. So
are they like, more now?
Yeah, they're more now.
God, I'm gonna have to look. No, oh man, I'm like, might need
because there was like different colors. There was like orange camo, like red camo. There was like just regular camo.
Yeah,
but the green camo was
camo.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's funny.
But there's like the green camo, and I'm like, oh, those are so good. But anyways, yeah, no.
This is funny because I always like people always ask me like, oh, what are your sneakers worth? And I don't look at any of the resale prices for anything. So like to hear you say that, I'm like, oh, I had no idea those were worth that much money. I didn't even cross my mind. Wow. All right.
Well, I thought about it because I had to look. I look it up every once in a while. I'm like, I can't. I'll never get these.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just make myself sad doing that. I don't even know why I do that to myself.
Funny.
So that's your wild card. So for my wild card, I think I'm gonna go with I gotta show love to his free agency season. And
yeah, I knew it. I was wondering when all right.
Yeah. And it's tough. I can either go with I could either go with like the Reebok Questions in the Laker colors or the Air Jordan 3. It's tough, man, because I want to show love to Reebok. I want to show that, when he wore the purple toe and all that stuff. But man, it's the 3s, dude. I can't, man. The 3s are too good. Like the Laker in those Laker colors.
Yeah,
man. There's man. So I got to go with the Air Jordan 3 in Laker colors. And damn, those are rough. I can't believe technically they came out as like a special 2-pack thing with the 8. And like cool people that we know, I think, have a pair like that special box set or something like that. But yeah, man, like the 3s. So not so much the 8s. The 8s are like, it's okay. But the 3s,
yeah, the 8s are kind of
Exactly.
The threes
But
are
the
fire.
threes,
Threes are fire.
woo, yeah. So for my commercial, there's a lot to choose from. There's a lot to
There's a
choose from with
lot
Kobe
to choose
commercial.
from.
Some of them are like, just edgy. Some of them are cool. Some of them are funny. So there's a lot of lanky ones to pick from that I was like, oh, I could go with those. There's a lot of like, but I think I'm gonna go with like an old school one, an Adidas one. It was for the Adidas
Oh.
Kobe. Yeah. I was shocked. Like I thought about it too. I was like, could I go with just the puppets or whatever? But I think I'm gonna go with the Adidas Kobe. And I don't know if it was for the Kobe 1 or the Kobe 2, the submarine looking shoes. But there's this one where he does like where he's on a basketball court and he's doing all of these dunks that I'm like, I've never seen them before. Like I think there was the one where he does it between the legs, but he does like a 360 and he does like a behind. There's another dunk where he does like a behind the back. And I think that was like years before I first saw it, like an NBA Live '05, where I first saw somebody do like a jump up, like put it like behind their back and then dunk it.
Behind
I think
their back,
JR, yeah, I think J.R. Smith eventually did do it, but like Kobe did it like 4 or 5 years before, and I was like, whoa, I didn't even know you could physically do something like that, right? And
Yeah.
I think the commercial ends with like Kobe doing like a three, like a Statue of Liberty dunk from like just a little bit past the 3-point line. And he does like almost like a 360 spin. Of course, it's like whatever. It's like he's on whatever. He's on a harness or something. But you're still like, oh, well, dang. Just because of like, wait, I didn't even know you could do those kinds of dunks. I didn't even know it was like, again, I didn't even know it was like physically possible in 1999 or 2000 that anybody could ever do that. Yeah, you're like, yeah, Vince Carter probably could have done those dunks, but Kobe did it first. So
That's funny.
So I think I'm gonna go with that one for my commercial.
All right, for me, I got to go with the Kobe system. It's just so, it's like, it's just like the perfect, like it encapsulates what Kobe is, like the craziness of Kobe. Yeah. Of like the more, and I feel like it's still like, I still watch that today. Every once in a while, I'll watch those commercials. One, because they were funny, but also because I think the messaging still hits like more. Like, okay, you've done all these things. Now, what more can you do? What else can you do? How do you keep getting better? And like that's kind of like that theme in my brain. So we're gonna go with those. Got to go. I would say not even one in particular, really all of them. That whole what do you call that series of commercials? The Kobe System series of commercials, just so good.
I feel like that's when like the Mamba mentality really became a thing, because he had been calling himself the Black Mamba for the first couple of years, but like really to see that like actually like personified and like doing like the motivational Tony Robbins. I think Tony Robbins is one of those commercials, right? Like to
Tony
actually,
Robbins is one.
Yeah, and to actually like see it like on stage and actually like with all of the different levels and all that stuff. Some of it was hokey, but it was pretty funny. But also at the same time, if you look at it, you're like, the message is like more. Just you keep pushing, keep going, pushing, striving for more. So yeah, man, like that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Honorable mention to the MVP puppets. I can't end this
honorable
show
mention to the MVP puppets.
Yeah, I always had
the retirement commercial. I've been hating you for so long. That one too. Honorable mention to that one.
Yeah, no. I always had this little pet theory that with the MVP puppets with Kobe and LeBron, they introduced like this little kid, like I forget what his name was, Little Dez or something. I always had like this pet theory that would actually grow up to become Kevin Durant.
Oh, that'd have been cool.
Like I was like, I want like if they kept that thing going for a couple of years, eventually that kid would grow up to become KD. So I don't know how they would have like made the leap from like Dez to Kevin Durant, but in my head I was like, they could make that happen. They could totally make that happen, right? But anyways,
I love that. That'd have been cool.
Yeah. All right, so that was episode 51 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I am once again your co-host Juan Martinez. Jacques Slade is to my left or to my right. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything like that, you want to send stuff to the mailbag, send it to toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that is toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. That's number two. Dos. And of course, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff.
Subscribe.
Always appreciate the support.
All the things.
You know, listen to it. Listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, watch it on YouTube's and all that good stuff. And yeah, thank you again for watching and listening and all that good stuff. And we will catch you next week.
Peace, y'all.
We out.